Oh, hey, hold on a second. Let me set this stuff down.
And we putting on a show, trying to catch a vibe. We do this every time, like na 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 na. Feeling like I'm on the highway, cause everything been going my way. And now they looking at me sideways. I'm like na 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 na. This is where I wanna be, na na na. Never ever gonna leave.
Hey, good to see you guys. Hey, so as you can tell, this episode, I actually don't know. Maybe it's about green screen. Maybe it's about cleaning up a mess. Who knows? But okay, here's what we're gonna talk about really quick. Not green screen. This isn't even properly lit. I don't think, and I'm too close to it. I don't think I could even key it. Let's try it. Ready? 3, 2, 1. All right, I'll be really interested watching this back in the future to see if I even tried that or not, or if I just edited this whole thing on my phone and didn't even try to key it. Either way, that doesn't matter. Let's talk about how to set up a shoot. Okay, first thing first, still with the monkey in the room, right? Monkey? No, elephant. We'll deal with the elephant in the room, monkey in your back, whatever. No, I do not think I'm a cowboy. This is for COVID. All right, see how easy that was? This is my lazy, so if I'm in the studio, the big studio, the other side of the building has the small studio. This is the big studio. And I'm setting up for a shoot, and that's what we're gonna talk about today. But first, again, I just wanna defend my fashion choices here. This part of the studio is the space is shared with a state licensed daycare or something like that. Anyways, so they have pretty strict, and it's busy. It's not like the other studio, there's not a lot of people down in that office space, so that I can walk around without a mask pretty much 98% of the time. Here, I have to wear a mask 98% of the time. Now in the studio, I'm fine, but I also have a storage room, 2 rooms down. So there's like a classroom in between, and then, or whatever it is. I think it's empty right now, honestly. I don't think that there's any kids meeting over there. And then I have a storage room down there. And then I go out sometimes to my office on the other side of the building, and the small studio on the other side of the building, or my car out in the parking lot. And then it just gets annoying to grab a mask every single time, or you set it down, you forget it. It's like, oh, my mask is back in my office. It's da-da-da, da-da-da. So if I know I'm gonna be over in the studio a lot and walking around, I'll just throw on my little hanky here, and boom, instant cowboy. Okay, but back to today's topic. I have a shoot tomorrow. It's going to be a 5 to 8 minute green screen virtual set piece. And so I'm clearing out because, so we have this green screen, as you can see here. I'm gonna flip the camera around. All right, so we have this green screen. We actually have 2 of them. The other one, I'm being a bad boy. It's all just wrinkled up. I just realized as I'm showing you the room, you probably can't hear me as well, so I flipped my mic around. So we have another green screen over there, and normally, so you, like how we had it before, I don't want to be too loud though, jeez, Jared. Try to do this. We had the green screen going from that corner, and then right about here, it connected to the second one. It came around, and it came around somewhere right around here-ish. And that was the green screen before. But right now we just have the one set up, and I'm gonna need pretty much the whole thing. So I'm pushing everything back. And here's the number 1 tip. Well, it's really 2 tips. There's 3. I'm gonna give you 3 tips on using green screens. First off, get the best camera you can. And I don't mean like insane red camera or something like that, but like the better the camera can process, this lighting's terrible. The better the camera can process the color information, the easier your key is gonna be. So back when I was trying to do green screen stuff with like a mini DV camera, it was like freaking impossible to pull a key, and I ended up doing so much roto. I can't find a good light source. Hold on. All right, that one's not necessarily great, but it's at least consistent. What is the irony of that? You're in a studio full of lights and have bad lighting. It's laziness, it's not irony. All right, so what was I saying? Oh yeah, so first off, if you're having tons of problems with that, maybe upgrade your camera. If your camera's only like a $200-300 or super old, that could be it. I remember when the first time I went from a mini DV and I hated motion tracking, and I hated green screen because it never worked, and I ended up doing so much of it manually. Then I switched to just not even a DSLR, just a digital like camcorder, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can actually pull a key on this. And then again, there were still some problems, but it was a lot easier and much less roto, and then DSLR, and then now I have the Blackmagic, and that thing's like a dream. But even just my basic DSLR vlogging camera handles it pretty great. Okay, so that's the first one. You can't always control that one, obviously. Second, well, depending on your budget. Secondly, lighting it, right? You need to have it properly lit. You want a lit green screen. You need it to be properly lit, otherwise it's gonna be hard because the algorithm is trying to pull out all of the same color, but like if over right now we can see there's a bright spot right here, it's darker right in here. Probably wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but because it's not terrible, but like you don't want a variation. So right there you can already see there's like 2 columns of light and a dark spot, which makes sense because we have a light source right there and a light source right there, and then not one right there. So boom, there's the dark spot. Also the quality of light, but we won't go into that because it's a little more technical. But basically, just suffice it to say, those aren't good lights. Buy a light. Yeah, so you want it properly lit. The closer to the entire screen being the same color, the better. Okay, and then last but not least, and do forgive the sound, the heater kicked on again, and guys, this is like my thing. I just hate, everywhere I go, I feel like there's a heater chasing me. And I get tired of just turning them off and then forgetting to turn them back on. It's a pain. So we're gonna I'll throw some noise reduction on here, and we're just gonna deal with a little bit of that in the background. So thank you for sticking around. The third thing, which is probably this is the easiest, and this was gonna be the one tip. It's the easiest thing to do to increase, I won't say quality, to make pulling your key like so much easier. The difference from like I quit, I never want to do this again, to like, yeah, that was an easy key. You know, I pulled that key, you know, that shot in like 20 minutes. I was done. It's in the edit. We're done. Is get your talent as far away from your green screen as possible. Get them away from it, because what you do is you avoid the spill. So what happens, especially if you're wearing like it's a rule, like you don't wear green around, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I have so much trouble with just black because it picks up that spill so much. Now I am loving, I just did my first project, green screen project in DaVinci Resolve, because it's amazing. It's like night and day. Is my mic on? That's the other thing. I'm always worried my mic's off. It's like night and day from trying to do it in After Effects. I absolutely love it. I had a project that just was not working. It should have been an easy project. Like it was this green screen. There shouldn't have been any problems, and it was giving me problems. And so I switched over to DaVinci. I didn't know how. Like I've been using DaVinci for a few projects. I'm not gonna say vowed, but my goal, I'm gonna see how far I can go with this show without ever using Premiere or After Effects. Like how many of these episodes I can just do on DaVinci, or ever. Like maybe I never, like that could be a thing. Like this episode, okay, I gotta take that back, because most of these episodes, like all but like 3 of them, have been edited on my phone, which is Adobe Premiere Rush. So to specify, the desktop version of Adobe Premiere Pro. Anytime I go to the desktop, I'm trying to use DaVinci. This episode will be edited on DaVinci unless right over here says otherwise. Right down here says otherwise. Okay, so back to that. Get them as far away as possible. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so as we look at this green screen, I really should switch to my wide angle lens. Typically, like when talent comes in here, they walk up and they immediately stand like right here, like literally like 2.5, 3 feet away from the green screen. I'm like, move up. So I typically don't like, I have them around here. I'm probably really loud, sorry. Like around here, but because of this project, and how much, like I think, and we're gonna do in full body, I think he's gonna be moving around more, and I really just want to, it's not just a person standing in front of the green screen, he's gonna be interacting with the virtual set a little bit. I really want to not have to worry about that spill. So I have a white line. That's another tip. Put a white line or put tape or something on the ground, a piece of trash if you have to, so they know where to be. I typically have them like put their toes like just touching to that. And then, again, it's normally back further, but I moved it way up, and I'm actually gonna tell him to stay in front of it. So you can see, like, that's probably, I don't know, let's see. That's like 1, 2, 3, I need to work my balance. 4, 5, 6, 7, almost 7 of my feet. And I wear a size 15, so you can do the math on that. It's a good deal away. So I'm having to move everything back, all the lights and everything back. Just a quick overview. What I like to do, just by knowing what the shot's gonna be, I like to set the lights up in like their general location where I think they're gonna be. And then from there, when the talent comes in, and I set the camera up first, and then I adjust all the lights. I move them around, I build. Luckily, I'm using the Blackmagic camera, so I've got like, you know, different exposure tools and stuff on there to see how even the light is on the green screen. And yeah, I build off of there. Another thing I like to do, and I notice a big difference, is I use different color temperatures to light the talent and to light the green screen, because that helps even more with that spill and change that color. So what I'll do is I have some really cool LED, and I don't mean like cool as in color temperature, like Kelvin, LEDs I'll use to light the green screen. And then I'll use warmer lights, like much warmer on the Kelvin scale, to light the talent. And then because of that drastic color difference, I find that the software has a much easier time. That last project I was talking about, I didn't have my cooler lights, and so I lit it all warmer, and I didn't really compensate for that, so I should have taken a couple extra precautions. Plus, it was like a Christmas event, so she was wearing like a black dress, and he was wearing like a dark crushed velvet like jacket, so there was a lot of spill, and I was kind of in a hurry and I wasn't thinking, and it cost me like an extra 2 days, which should have been a half a day to do that. Ended up being like 2+ days of trying to get that to work. But hey, on the bright side, I learned how to do it in DaVinci, and that makes me happy. And then last but not least, we have this little Video Village type thing here, and what we'll do is like I'll move this forward, and I'll have the camera, video piping out of the camera, going into my laptop, being keyed live with the background that we're going to be using, so that way he can see what he is interacting with. So he can like look at that as he's looking at the camera right behind, or actually right in front of and below the camera is going to be this TV with the full thing. He can see himself in that environment. He can see that when he walks this way, so he can gesture at things, and he can talk about his environment and that kind of thing. All right, so that is it for today. I was gonna say, tomorrow I will show you. I'll show you the, it won't be what we're talking about tomorrow, but tomorrow I'll throw in a clip of, unless I forget, I probably will forget, but I'll try to remember, and I'll get a shot of it all set up, Video Village, all that kind of stuff, so you can see all the lights and everything set up, and you can kind of see what that looks like. And if I really remember, I'll just turn this camera on and let it record for the 29 minutes and 29 seconds that it legally is allowed to record before it shuts itself off and then incurs extra taxes. Yeah, all right, I hope you guys enjoyed that today. This is a little behind the scenes and a little bit of how to set up your stuff. So if you're setting up, if you have a little green screen like in your living room, and it's just not working, and you're about to give up on it, or maybe you have given up on it, it just doesn't seem to work. You can't get those keys. Those are 3 tips and a little bit of how I set that stuff up. Most likely, it comes down to, you probably nowadays have a camera that's fine, it's decent enough. It's most likely either you're way too close and you have super spill, or you have like really uneven green screen. Also, maybe I'll get into this in an actual tutorial in like After Effects, but a lot of times you can't just get it in one, like one pull of it. Like sometimes you have to break it into pieces. Like, okay, you know, a lot of times for me, it's like the skin and hair versus the body. Like, you know, I'll have to do 2 different keys, do some basic roto, and put those together, tricks and stuff like that. So, and then, yeah, I'll show you guys some of that stuff at some point. Leave a comment. Let me know if you want to learn that.